Hello and welcome. It is that of the 6th day of April 2017. Let's go over a relatively quick Bela chart, but it can't be too quick. First off, trend line analysis, the original trend. Notice how it hasn't been supporting it. It's been supporting higher throughout the months of March and into April now. Within trendline analysis, what I like to do is you find your key support line like this and get a line with the exact same rate of ascent and then connect the two pieces. And I'm going to connect this first and first two highs. And what we can see here is that it's pretty much at that level. Now, depending on how you draw your trend, you can see here, okay, what we see on this one is hit, pierce above, hit. But you can draw it a little differently and maybe have something like, say, see if it connects it like this, which connects low, 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 and then pretty much connects that one. All of a sudden now, I've got a pierce above it. Let's even go further. Let's say we do a trend line like this. Do the same thing. And I actually have one that's a pierce above too. I'm trying to get that. What I've done is I've just played around with these before, and I've gotten set up so that one is an exact hit, one's a pierce below, and one's a pierce above. And the whole reason why I'm trying to go through this, and that's another, is because of the fact that we're in one of those then what situations approaching. Price action isn't at 12,867 as at 1026. It's actually just broke past 13 now. And since this break, large green candle up and continue follow through so far. Well overextended from this 18 average band. Right now, the obvious place to buy, if you're looking to buy, I think would be here because, well, one, I got a key fib line there, but that's where resistance was. And if it happens today or tomorrow, even the next day, maybe that's where the 18 average band would come into play. Another thing I'm trying to state now is you don't buy now. You are not buying now. If you choose between buying, selling, and holding, it would be a combination of both selling and holding. Selling because you got to ensure profit taking. Holding because you realize there's a good chance that it's going to still continue its gains, as well as it possibly going hog wild. So there's two upward reasons for holding, because it could easily extend these gains short term. And hog wild is when something just goes out of control. It's just boom, shakalaka, which is what this is what the 2016, 2017 of cryptos is probably going to be, as it is anyway. So it wouldn't be that big of a surprise if I see over a day or a week or even a continuation month where this thing just goes up 5, 6, 7x. And I wouldn't expect it, but it wouldn't surprise me. I will not be buying any tokens really above 12,000. I will not buy a single one unless, of course, the message of the market changes. Because for me, this is the distribution period. It's at the early stages of such, but I still think it's got another leg higher. I just don't want to, I just couldn't imagine, say, buying here, waiting to sell at, say, 16.9, and then it going up to, well, at least 14.4, maybe even 16, and then just not getting any profits, and then it going down in your break even and then losing. I just couldn't imagine why anyone could have that situation come into play. But I do think the extended gains should at least continue, and it's going to be due for some sort of pullback. I will be buying aggressively again, but just like every one of these times it comes from this top, you go from here down to here, here down to here. you have to think that at bare minimum, this at some point, unless it does go hog wild, that we will see this 8 to 9K number again. And that's, of course, unless it does something parabolic. If this thing shoots up and it triples next day to 40,000, okay, well, now we're not going to probably see this again. It's those moves that happen, generally happen in these situations where you're supposed to sell. And we'll see if it does. I'm not going to expect it to do such. But every single time you go to a significant point, say in here, I was expecting 5 to 6K at this point. And yet, when it was going up to 45, 46, 47, yeah, I was like, oh man, am I going to undercut it? But more times than not, usually these levels that I consider, if I'm talking about going up, will go higher than what I say. And anything that I say going low will usually go lower. Doesn't necessarily mean that it will, but usually, and that means more times than not. Again, I hope that everyone who's in this is going to ensure having very, very good profits, regardless of what the market does at this stage. If you sell a lot now and it goes way up, you could very easily miss out on large gains. But regardless of the fact, what you will guarantee is you will guarantee profit. And really, that's what this comes down to. It's a means to an end to increase Bitcoin totals for buying into these things. Unless you really wanted a Bela coin, which personally I don't, there's always going to be other codes, other opportunities always coming into play. So I'm going to hope that today it can at least make its move to that 16K number, and then I can just adjust to the message of the market from there. But for now, really doing nothing in here. I'll be buying down in here, and I got sellers everywhere, but everything above like 17.5, 18 there's not much left. Anyway, take care.